Nitro versus Poly, Relic versus Perfect, and why is everybody fighting so much over it? Today we're going to look at the difference between nitrocellulose lacquer finishes and polyurethane or polyester finishes. Hit subscribe below for more tips, guitar lessons, tones, and more. All right, let's get into it. So if you didn't know, there are two main types of finishes for electric guitars. This is a nitrocellulose lacquer finish, the red paint, and this one right here is a polyurethane finish, the white paint. There's a giant debate happening on internet forums and here on YouTube about which is better. Some people fiercely defend one or the other, and it's really a matter of personal preference. So what's the difference? Nitrocellulose lacquer is a type of painting technique and method that was used back by Fender and other guitar manufacturers back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Eventually it gave way to a different type, which is polyurethane. This one involves spraying multiple coats of paint, letting them finish correctly, sanding and wet sanding and preparing them and eventually smoothing them out over and over again. You do a lot of different coats and it's more of a time-intensive process. It costs the manufacturer more money. Most manufacturers have phased out a ton of their $300 to $1,000 models out of this, but most manufacturers are using these in higher end or custom shop models. Now, the good part about nitro and lacquer is if you beat it up, it actually sort of chips and wears well. This one is pretty clean, but if you were to tear it up, take a look at these relic guitars. A lot of players love them. They love the worn up, beat up look. It looks like it's been trashed around on a stage for a long time. And some people think they're awesome. I actually do too. I don't know if I want the super heavy relic, the super destroyed, but I really like the idea of not having to baby my guitar. If I bump it into a wall or cabinet and it gets a ding on it, it's actually relieving that I don't have to worry about it. Now, what people really fight over and worry over, and actually I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Take your pick, tell me what you think, nitro versus poly. But the idea of buying a new guitar that looks old is hugely controversial. Some people think it's you're a faker, you're acting like it's like wearing worn out jeans, buying jeans that have holes in them. So some people hate it, some people love it. I will say, if you watch a lot of the videos from Andertons and others, it's those relics, those beat up ones that are their biggest sellers. So that's interesting. So this is a poly guitar. Again, this is pretty new and clean. And the difference between this is it's a much easier spraying and painting technique for the manufacturers. They basically spray on one good coat of white paint and then they coat it in polyurethane. Or polyester. And the criticism for this for a lot of people is that it feels like plastic. It's it's like a shell around your white paint. Some people feel like the tone and the wood doesn't breathe as much. Other people don't believe that at all. Now, if you chip this or bang it, unlike the relic, unlike the nitro or the lacquer model, which is the paint is very thin and it's real close to the wood and it starts to wear naturally and you see the wood. If you pop this pretty good, you might just get a big chunk out of your white. So the rest of it is perfect and then there's this like hole right there. And you see right into the wood, and some people even try to relic their poly guitars and it doesn't look good. I wouldn't advise that at all. That's a quick look at it. The debate and the big fierce controversy, and again, if you start a thread on a forum about this, people will go, uh-oh, here we go again, and it'll either generate a bunch of shaking of head or it'll create a giant firestorm because some people just can't stand the idea that you buy an old guitar and beat it up. Other people love their polys because they're very durable. It's strong. I mean, if you take a poly out and you don't absolutely crash it, I could bang it into something and it'll probably not show a nick. If I hit it hard enough, it does that, big crater that doesn't look good to me. Personally, I love the nitrocellulose lacquer. I think it is, for me, the peace of mind of just knowing that if I bump into something and it creates a ding or whatever, I don't care. I even leave the back plate off. I've got scratches if you were to look really closely on this. There's all sorts of dents and bruises, and it just helps me know that if I bang it into something, I don't really care. Anyway, that's it. That's a look at Nitro versus Poly, relics versus perfect. Other people, by the way, they think their relics are perfect, which is cool too. So tell me what you think in the comments below. If this is helpful, like, subscribe, share, click that subscribe button, and I appreciate it. Check out my other guitar lessons, tips, demos, and tones for Fender Mustang, GT, and GTX amps. See ya.